Good evening, my name is Victoria Sullivan and I reside on South Beach Street. Mayor Craig, your letter to Governor Sununu today was a flag of surrender. You've surrendered your position as leader of the city and laid it at the feet of the governor. You clearly have no plan or ability to lead our city. You must do what is right and you must resign. Upon your resignation, the funds received from the state and federal government to address homelessness and addiction must be audited. For years, I have presented solutions to this board in regard to the homeless crisis. I have stated on debate stages, in op-eds, and in public statements that I had a plan of action and what that plan was. My warnings and plans were disregarded by many of you, but especially you, Mayor Craig. I first asked for your resignation after the murder of Daniel Whitmore, the 75-year-old veteran that was stabbed to death in a vicious attack in the trails by my home, the same trails that children use to access the Little League field. I asked for your resignation because you have used your position as leader of this city to deceive people and tell them that the trails and the city were safe. They're not safe, and your negligence has cost lives and endangered our children. My once safe neighborhood saw 2 car thefts, a person threatened with a knife in their own yard, and multiple overdoses this weekend alone. Alderman Burkish, you should be especially ashamed, as this is your neighborhood and they call you the ghost alderman. The lack of leadership in our city resulted in nearly 100 deaths on our streets in 2022. Overdoses and violent crime are on the rise, and frankly, Manchester cannot survive another year of your leadership. You ran against Gatsis twice, and neither time was homelessness a campaign issue. This is a situation that you have created, you have ignored, and you have grown. You also firmly planted the opioid epidemic and crime on Gatsis when you ran, yet you're now blaming the governor. When Gatsis was mayor, you said Manchester is now known more for our struggles versus our strengths, and that must change. We have a far worse reputation now than we did prior to you taking office. I agree with you, that must change. The change, Mayor Craig, begins with you stepping down. And your letter of surrender to the governor confirms that that is what is best for the city. On a positive note, I was encouraged to see the homeless director discussing change of use for some buildings, as this was part of the plan that I have consistently presented to this board for the last 4 years. I have reached out to her and I am hopeful that she and I can work together to bring the items in my comprehensive plan to fruition, including addressing the gaps in services, bringing the businesses, the faith-based community, the nonprofits, and the private entities together to come up with a formative plan.
30 seconds.
I understand that when I presented the plans for the first time 4 years ago, the situation was not as overwhelming as it is today. But as they say, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, or in this case, it was 4 years ago. The next best time is today. I will end by asking you once again, and this is with all sincerity, please resign along with the other 11 who do your bidding. You have failed Manchester, and new leadership is needed to save our city.
Brittany Ping.